That's not working. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Wow, I didn't see this coming. Don't you know the first thing about the globe climber? Huh? Even little children treat it with the respect it deserves. They know that unless you spin it gently, there's no stopping it. Yeah, it does look pretty dangerous. Looks like I'm just destined to fly through the air like this for a while. This just might buy us some time. Maybe he'll keep spinning around like that the whole 4 minutes. Sorry, but I don't think I could stand it for that long. But anyway, at least we stopped him from running for a while. Let's see what we can do while we have this chance. Oh, that was so close. If it hit the ball, it could have knocked it down. Is that all this umbrella can be used for? For knocking the rugby ball down? Don't forget about my powers. Don't forget about my recklessness of youth. I think I see something. Think I see something. Look at that. There are a lot of round things here. Oh boy, that means it's time for me, right? Alright. Oh boy, my hair is also round. Let's see, to use Missile's powers, just do that. I'll try and see what happens. Yeah, well, that's great and all, but I didn't want to be Missile at that moment. That's not helpful for me. I guess I'll try the basketball first. It's not what I wanted, but we'll see what happens. Need you to spin around the world and yeah. I was like, this isn't working. Oh, right, that's your job. We can see what that does. I don't have too much faith in that, but we'll see. I guess that's kind of interesting. Yes, we've been here before. Okay. That could be what I'm looking for. Tire right there. We keep the basketball. It's kind of crazy. It's not going to work. But then again, a basketball probably wouldn't work either, so. Can we not do this, please? Wish there was a better way for me to set this up sooner. Let's see. Put you right there for now. All right, let's see if this works. Hooray. There, we move the ball. What do you think, Missile? Well, with the ball there, I think I can do it. Just a few seconds, you'll swap Mino with the leaf. And then, from there, you can swap Mino one more time. The final moment is near, Missile. Are you ready? This is how she got the thing. I was wondering how or when they were going to explain it, and it just dawned on me. She dies here, and Missile saves her, and that's how she got her core. Alright, watch me, Sissel. Here I go. The finishing touches. You can do it, Missile. Swap Mino with that ball. There, how's that? My head has been spared. Truly, that was a try worthy of the gods. And now Mino is right where he belongs. We did it again, didn't we? Didn't we? Fate averted. Now nobody has to die. Except for one brave little somebody. Huh? Talking about you, Missile. Oh, me. I guess you're right, I'm still dead, aren't I? So now let's go back and save your life. Wait a minute. What is it? Now that I think about it, I think I want to stay dead a little longer. What? When I was alive, I couldn't help Miss Camilla when she was in trouble. I want to be able to protect Miss Camilla. And to do that, I need these powers I have now. I see. Perfectly understandable. Even I wish I had powers like that. Hey, we just saved you. Don't wish your life away already. Oh, of course, you're right. Okay, Missile, have it your way. By the way, Mr. Reckless Youth, there's a certain detective who needs that music box you found. When we get back to the present time, could you give it to her? Certainly, you have my word. Let's go back then, to the present. Away! And so, Camilla ended up in the hands of the kidnappers. We weren't able to change that part. Lynn listened to my story without saying anything. I'm sorry, I wish there was something else I could have done. No, you did the best you could. I'm sure she's all right, after all. After all, she has me. Missile, are you in there? Miss Lynn, leave Miss Camilla to me. I know I don't look like much right now, but I'm sure I can help her. Missile. Miss Lynn! Oh no. Poor Missile. Gonna leave it up to Missile. Kinda looks like Missile is being left up to the wind. Ooh! I have something to give you. Stop the park from being turned into a housing site. Protect the park, the Rock of the Gods. Aren't you forgetting your promise? Oh, pardon me, pardon me. My apologies, this is for you. Oh. You kept the music box safe, didn't you? Thank you. Not at all, I was only doing what the Rock of the Gods would have wanted. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? He's mesmerized by my beauty. Hey, the cat's not allowed to get your tongue. Excuse me, but are you... No, it couldn't be. Have we met before? Aren't you that little girl from that time? I'll never forget it. It was 10 years ago in this park. 10 years ago. Are you talking about... What y'all talking about? Here in this park, the gods surely control fate. Today, 10 years from that day, we meet once again. If that isn't the power of the gods, then what else is it? Could just be coincidence. But apparently, you know our lady detective here. Could you tell us about it? What happened 10 years ago? Yes, of course. I was actually about to do just that. What's this Rock of the Gods you keep mentioning? Don't you know? It's right there in front of us. Missile. Wait a minute. You say G-O-D-S, but do you mean D-O-G-S? Of course not. Don't be silly. This is no time for ridiculous word games. You are standing just above the Rock of the Gods now. Take a look at that monument. Monument? Rock of the Gods, Tempsic Park. The Rock of the Gods. Rock is buried in the ground right there. It's been there for, these 10 years. Ever since that day, it flew down from the heavens and showed us a miracle. A miracle? So this rock you've been talking about is a meteorite. Precisely. It dropped from the sky on that day 10 years ago. Yes, of course. Surely you know all about it. Me? That day, I just happened to be passing through this park. I had no idea that day would change my destiny. The sun was going down, and through the gloom, I heard the scream of a little girl. Now just calm down and drop that weapon. Stay back. If you come any closer, I'll shoot her. Oh, are they gonna say that he died because of the rock and not be... Come on, don't do this. I peeked out fearfully from the bushes and saw some shadowy figures. I didn't see the face of the criminal clearly. I knew I should do something to help, but I couldn't move. Tension was so thick, it was painful, just when I couldn't stand it any longer. That's when it happened. The sky suddenly burned bluish white. When it crashed into the ground, the meteorite gave off a shower of beautiful fragments. And then I saw it. One of those beautiful fragments pierced into the criminal's back. Come on, man. The judgment of the gods was brought down on the park that day. "10 years ago, the little girl that was you was saved by the Rock of the Gods." Oh my, I can't believe it. The Rock of the Gods was given the name Temsic, and still today, it lies sleeping deep in the park's earth. Alright, Kismet? Kismet? Kismet is, if I have my words correctly, isn't that like a soulmate-esque thing? Could be wrong. I always thought Detective Jowd was the one who saved me. You were very young then, and you passed out from the shock of being taken hostage. Of course you wouldn't remember. But that's funny. A huge incident like that should have caused quite a stir. It's strange you never heard of it, Lynn. It is, isn't it? But now that I think about it, I remember I didn't want to think about what had happened. I avoided the news and never came back to this park again. That's why I didn't know anything about it. The meteorite was named Temsic after the name of this park that it fell in. And then the Rock of the Gods was forgotten. Now, an awful thing is happening. They're talking about turning the park into a housing site. I'll never forget the miracle I witnessed that day. And so I've taken up residence in this park and am trying to appeal to the people. Protect the park, the Rock of the Gods. That is my mission. See. Taking you with me, Missile. So, 10 years ago, the little girl that was Lynn wasn't aware of the meteorite. I get that, but Detective Jowd, on the other hand, there's no way he didn't know about this Temsic thing. And if he knew, and the man died, I took his life, what was that confession of his all about? The rocks of the gods that fell from the sky 10 years ago changed the destinies of many people's lives. Bars? like the ripples on a pond when a pebble is dropped in. With every answer I get, I learn about a new mystery. Will I be able to break the chain of mysteries before dawn? Anyway, now we have the evidence we need. We decided to meet up again at the minister's office. Besides, there are a few things I want to ask Detective Jowd. We found the music box, Detective Jowd. Good job, Lynn. I knew you would. Once everything had been resolved, I wanted you to give this to him. Him, you mean Inspector Cabanela, right? I don't suppose he'll ever forgive me. Detective Jowd. Now then, let's get this open. There's a certain knack to doing it, you know. You just handed a convicted felon a gun, by the way. That's, it's not ideal. See? Calls that a knack? Looks more like brute strength to me. I knew that gun was too small for that. There you are. You should find scorch marks on the grip. Scorch marks? When Camilla built her contraption, she used a special kind of string. Alright, well, that sneeze is gone. It's a kind magicians use. It burns up in an instant and disappears. Why would little Camilla use something like that? I don't know. Maybe because she's a detective's daughter. Not leaving any evidence behind and all that. In the case report, there was mention of some scorch marks. I don't see how this exonerates him, by the way. He could have put the scorch marks there. He could have planted the scorch marks on the scene of the crime. Like, there's so many things he could have done. When it happened, Camilla was watching from her hiding place. She saw the flame run to the gun, something she naturally didn't include in her design. I took the gun out of the frame and replaced it with a picture. If you remove the picture, you should find scorch marks behind on the frame too. Those marks should match up with the ones on the gun. In other words, it proves the contraption existed there in that room that day. No, it doesn't. Not even close. And it didn't work the way your little girl intended, is that right? Exactly. Some cowardly culprit modified the design. But that angle was never brought up in court, and so, as Justice Minister, I must call off the execution at this point. I knew I was right. It wasn't Detective Jowd. Now we can finally prove that. No, we can't. Thank goodness. Yeah, you're just gonna walk into court and be like, yeah, a ghost did it. Trust me. Thank you, Lynn. In those eyes of yours, I see the eye of that little girl from 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you say? Sissel, if you hadn't come to my cell tonight, I would be gone by now without ever having known any of this. This is what I deserve. That's what I told myself these past 5 years. Things are different now. Thanks to you, my eyes have finally been opened. Tonight. I've come into contact with a lot of people's lives and got involved in their fates. And the only reason I was doing it was to regain my own lost memory. But things are different now. We're connected to each other somehow. I just know it. And that's why I need to ask you a few more questions in order to find the truth about us. Fair enough. Fire away. Oh boy. Sissel told me all about it, Detective Jowd. About the manipulator. Yes, and it looks like this manipulator really did a number on the minister too. Please don't pick on the minister. If he dies again, I'm the one who has to save him. Sissel, do you think? Do you think that's what happened to me too? What are you talking about, Lynn? Don't tell me. You were manipulated too. There was always a part of me that just couldn't believe it. That image of the one who shot me. But now I see the possibility of a new explanation. But who is it, and why did they do it? That contraption was a birthday surprise for Camilla's mother, wasn't it? That's right. Something's been bothering me about it. I feel like I know that device from somewhere. No surprise there. You lost your life once tonight because of that machine. Right, I knew it. See, Detective Jowd? No, I'm afraid I don't see. Told Detective Jowd about it. Told him about seeing the exact same contraption tonight at a completely different place. That's very strange indeed. A junkyard on the edge of town. I've never even heard of the place. And what's more, I've never told a single soul about that contraption. You haven't? An old pigeon guy. Who in the world is he? Detective Jowd, you must have heard his name before. Temsik. The meteorite that fell in the park 10 years ago. You were there. So you found out about that, did you? I hear that meteorite saved little Lynn's life. That's right. Couldn't do anything to help Lynn that day. But in that case, I don't get it. If it's true, doesn't it mean you didn't steal somebody's life away? What are you talking about? Detective Jowd, you told me that 10 years ago. The person who killed the perpetrator in the park was you. What? But it was the meteorite. I wasn't lying. I stole that man's life away, no question about it. It was entirely my fault. I was just about to shoot him. I would have shot him in the next instant if the meteorite hadn't come. At that point, I was already a murderer. I don't think that's the definition of a murderer. That's not true. You were trying to save me. Lynn, I'm sorry, but I don't think that's really it. Huh? On that day 10 years ago, a different incident happened in another place. Another place? Yes, in the police headquarters interrogation room. The worst sort of incident. A suspect who was being questioned escaped. Wow, I didn't know about that. I happened to be there in the detective division, so I joined the chase. Fortunately, or I guess unfortunately, I was able to track him down alone in the park. Hold it right there. Fired a warning shot. I wanted to catch him bad. That warning shot made him panic. At the time, I was a young and green detective brandishing my sense of justice like a sword. I made him panic and got you involved, Lynn. It was all my fault. Detective Jowd. All I could see was my target. I couldn't even see you. So sorry, Lynn. This man is doing some mental gymnastics to blame himself for all of this. So the man who grabbed me that day, or grabbed me died that day. These last 10 years, I've never forgotten his face. And then, a few years after that, when my wife Alma died in such a mysterious way, I thought it was fate, my punishment for what I'd done. I painted pictures in my cell, nothing but portraits of people's faces. All the faces of the many people I'd met in my life and didn't want to forget. And tonight, I finished my last portrait, the final face I wanted to remember. The final face. Face of the man in the park that day. Wait just 1 minute. That can't be. I saw that painting. I saw the face you painted tonight. It was my face. Are you telling me I was the man in the park that time? That's right. That face of yours is the face I saw 10 years ago. The face of the man whose life I stole. The man who was pronounced dead at the scene. Well, hold on, Detective Job. That can't be true. I just met Sissel for the first time tonight. And he died right in front of me. By the way, the name that I know the man in the park that day by isn't Sissel. What? From the first minute I laid eyes on you tonight, I've been wondering, who in the world is this guy? Mr. Minister. Inspector Cabanela. Where are you? Just be quiet and listen. This is our demand. What? Demand? Our demand hasn't changed. The execution must be tonight. Once we've confirmed it's been carried out, we'll release the hostage. Ah, so he is in on it. I don't know if I said it out loud, but I had thought this the case. What are you talking about, Inspector Cabanela? And you know it wasn't my daughter who was abducted. Does it really matter who the hostage is? A life is a life. Even if it's the daughter of a death row prisoner. Once the criminal gets the punishment he deserves, the hostage will go free. Carry out the execution immediately and wait for our call. What is it, Mr. Minister? You look paler than ever. What in the world? What's going on, Inspector Cabanela? The rock of the gods that fell from the sky 10 years ago twisted the fates of many people and started a chain of tragic events. And even now, the chain continues to grow even longer. Inspector Cabanela's call proved that to us. And the greatest mystery of all has risen to the surface. Who is this me I've been chasing all night? Who am I? I'm even further from knowing than when I started. Well. I'll ask this in the chat just in case. If I continued for another, let's say, hour and a half, would I beat this game? Does anybody know? I feel like, what chapter did I just finish? I have no idea. Let's find out. Can we? I have finished 14, I guess. So we're moving on to chapter 15. Probably one more stream? Okay. And to make sure. All right. Then that is where I'm going to wrap it up for today. Yeah. So probably one more stream. You know, I anticipated that this could be the case. But you never know. Not gonna extend this one to find out anyways. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow. Or maybe tomorrow. I haven't actually confirmed the day. I just confirmed the time. But either tomorrow or Sunday. It doesn't really matter which one. You know, I'll be ready for it. But I'll be streaming a little bit later in the day. One's 12. So like, well, I'll just be streaming tomorrow. It'll approximately an hour ago is where I will probably be starting it. And I'll be doing a co-op game, and I won't spoil the surprise. But thanks for watching. Appreciate it. If I don't catch you tomorrow, I'll be back Monday, 7 a.m. Pacific, to continue with Ghost Trick Phantom Detective and potentially, possibly, beat the game. And with that, see ya the next time I see ya. Peace.